Siddhis, welcome you all to the third session of the lesson Discovering Tut. The saga continues from the textbook Hornbill prescribed for plus 1 students. In the last two classes, we learned about King Tut, a young pharaoh who died at the age of 19, who ruled Egypt for almost 10 years, and he was the 13th pharaoh of Egypt. In 1922, an English archaeologist named Howard Carter discovered the tomb of King Tut. Till then, he was barely known to the modern world because it was remained sealed for almost 3,200 years. When Howard Carter found out the king's tomb, after that, Zahi Hawass and his men put Tut's mummy for a CT scan to find out the reason behind the untimely death of King Tut. Now, we will be moving into the next stanza. King Tut's demise was a big event even by royal standards. He was the last of his family's line and his funeral was the death rattle of a dynasty. But the particulars of his passing away and its aftermath are unclear. So King Tut's death was a great event even by the royal people. He was the last of his family line and his funeral was the death end of a dynasty. But it was unclear about the details of his death. Amenhotep III, Tut's father or grandfather, was a powerful pharaoh who ruled for almost 4 decades at the height of the 18th dynasty's golden age. His son Amenhotep IV succeeded him and initiated one of the strangest periods in the history of ancient Egypt. The new pharaoh promoted the worship of the Aten, the sun disk, changed his name to Akhenaten or servant of Aten, and moved the religious capital from the old city of Thebes to the new city of Akhetaten, now known as Amarna. He further shocked the country by attacking Amun, a major god, smashing his images and closing the temples. It must have been a horrific time, said Ray Johnson, director of the University of Chicago's Research Center in Luxor, the site of ancient Thebes. The family that had ruled for centuries was coming to an end, and then Akhenaten went a little wacky. Now here the narrator describes about the ancestors of King Tut. First, he referred about Amenhotep III, Tut's grandfather, who was a very powerful ruler, and his rule was considered to be the golden age of the dynasty. Then his son Amenhotep IV succeeded him and initiated one of the strangest period in the history of Egypt. Then he refers to his son, that is Amenhotep IV. Then the new pharaoh promoted the worship of Aten, the sun disk, changed his name to Akhenaten or servant of Aten. So what did this young pharaoh do? He attacked Amun, a major god. He smashed his idols and also destroyed the temples. And also, then, here Ray Johnson, director of the University of Chicago's Research Center, reveals that it was a very horrific time. Which was the horrific time he revealed here? The time when Amenhotep IV became the ruler of Egypt. Then the family that ruled for centuries coming to an end, and then Akhenaten went a little wacky. After Akhenaten's death, a mysterious ruler named Smenkhare appeared briefly and exited with hardly a trace. So after the death of Amenhotep IV, another ruler named Smenkhare ascended the throne. But he also ruled for a brief time. After that, he disappeared without a trace. And then a very young Tutankhaten took the throne, King Tut, as is widely known today. Then after Smenkhare, who ascended the throne, King Tut, who ascended the throne. The boy king soon changed his name to Tutankhamun, living image of Amun. So he changed his name to Tutankhamun. The meaning is the living image of Amun, the same idol of Amun which was attacked by his ancestor Amenhotep IV. The boy king soon changed his name to Tutankhamun and oversaw a restoration of the old ways. So whatever thing his ancestor had done, that smashing the idols and destroying the temples, he restored everything. He reigned for about 9 years and then died unexpectedly. So the new pharaoh, that is Tutankhamun, the 13th pharaoh of Egypt, and at the time he was only 19 years old, and he ruled Egypt for almost 10 years. Regardless of his fame and speculations about his fate, Tut is one mummy among many in Egypt. So Tut is not the only mummy found in Egypt. There were more than 70,000 million mummies in Egypt, and Tut's mummy was one among them. How many? No one knows, but still it is counting. No one knows the exact number of mummies found in Egypt. The Egyptian Mummy Project, which began an inventory in late 2003, has recorded almost 600 so far and is still counting. So still in 2003, they started finding out the mummies in Egypt, and they didn't give us a correct correct detailed about how many mummies they had found. Still it is counting over there, so we are not getting a correct idea about how many mummies they found there. The next phase, scanning the mummies with a portable CT machine donated by the National Geographic Society and Siemens, its manufacturer. After finding out these mummies, what they did is they scanned the mummies in order to find out the mystery behind the death. And here, King Tut is one of the first mummies to be scanned. And among the mummies that found in Egypt, the Tut's mummy was the first one to be undergone a CT scan. In death, as in life, moving regally ahead of his countrymen. So in life also, what is here? It mentions meaning he became the ruler at a very young age. So that is the reference here in life. In death, here refers to the first mummy that had to undergo a CT scan. That is the reference given here. In death, as in life, moving regally ahead of his countrymen. A CT machine scanned the mummy head to toe, creating 1,700 digital X-ray images in cross section. Tut's head scanned in 0.62 millimeter slices to register its intricate structures. Takes an early detail in the resulting image. With Tut's entire body similarly recorded, a team of specialists in radiology, forensics and anatomy began to probe the secrets that the winged goddesses of a gilded burial shrine protected so long. Here a CT machine scanned Tut's mummy from head to toe, and it created the Tut's scanned in 0.62 millimeter slices to register its complex structures. They scanned in order to find out the complex structures and they took strange detail in the resulting image, and they got some strange details when they got the result. With Tut's entire body recorded, a team of specialists in radiology and forensic and anatomy. So after doing all these things, a team of professionals from radiology, forensics and anatomy, they started to probe the secret behind the death of King Tut, who had been till then guarded by the winged goddesses in his burial chamber. So students, today we have learned 4 stanzas of the lesson. Discovering Tut, the saga continues. Let's have a quick recap of what we have learned today. Discovering Tut, saga continues. Already I told you, Tut's body was taken to the CT scan in order to find out the mystery behind the death of King Tut. Earlier, archaeology was interested only in finding out the treasures, but now after so many years, it was not interested in finding out the treasures also, but it was interested to find out the mysteries behind the life and death of people also. So Tut's body had taken for a CT scan to find out the mystery behind the death of young Tut. This is a living example of technology advancement. We accepted things and events attributing their cause to nature and her wrath. However, advancement and technology could give us a different picture. Earlier I told you, when Tut's body was taken from his tomb, all were afraid because the pharaoh's curse would befall them if they took the dead body from the tomb. But here it says that even though we accepted the things and events attributing their cause to nature and wrath, however, advancement in technology and science also we have to accept. This way, it became a habit with us to accept everything that history states and dictates. On the process, the modern world has found ways to offer a different view on it. But for the modern ways, there are different ways to offer it. In other words, the modern world has turned impossibility to possibility. What is the impossibility referred here? That the mummy that had found out in 1922, Howard Carter found out the mummy of King Tut that was buried inside 3,200 years ago. And after the finding of Howard Carter, after 80 years, the Tut's body had taken for a CT scan to find out the reason behind the death. Here, impossibility become possible. Williams' report gives us an insight into this. A mummy scanned after 1,000 years has opened new avenues regarding a cause of its death. So a mummy, 80 years after King Tut's mummy had been scanned, even if it is scanned after 1,000 years also, there won't be. And that mummy referred to here is that of King Tut or Tutankhamun, meaning the living image of Amun, the earlier ruler. So earlier we told the ancestors of King Tut. Who are the ancestors? Amenhotep. First one we told about his grandfather. His grandfather was Amenhotep III. Then he was succeeded by Amenhotep IV. So Amenhotep IV shocked the country when he became the ruler. He shocked the country by attacking Amun, a major god, smashing his images and closing the temples, and his family had ruled for centuries. When what happened here, when King Tut became the ruler, after Amenhotep IV, Smenkhare became the ruler, and after Smenkhare, King Tut again became the ruler of Egypt as a young pharaoh at a very young age. So what did he do? Tut ruled for 9 years and then died both mysteriously and unexpectedly. He ruled the country for 9 years, but he died very mysteriously and unexpectedly at a very early age. Tut's mummy was scanned from head to toe using X-ray images under the guidance of a group of professionals including anatomy, forensics and radiology to find out the mystery regarding the death of King Tut at a very early age. Students, today we have learned this much. The continuation of the lesson will be in the next class. Till then, bye.